You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G, your podcast from a galaxy far, far away, or just right next door. I am your host, Mike Finkelstein. With me, as always, is...
Padme Amidala's.
I don't know that you could pull off the hair.
It was a wig.
But back when you were, like, long-haired, maybe you could have done it.
I miss my long hair.
The hot buns on the ears? Yeah.
The white face paint that looks kind of geisha-like.
I really don't know what the hell was up with any of that.
I'm going to assume crack cocaine.
Anyway, this week we are talking about Star Wars, which we've talked about before, and I'm sure we will talk about again at some point.
For two people that don't like Star Wars too much, talk about it a lot.
Well, the problem is the fact that it's, like, current.
Yeah.
Like, if Disney would just leave well enough alone and stop making Star Wars products, we wouldn't talk about it anymore. Mm-hmm. But no. I mean, we talk about Star Trek a lot, too, because it's current as well.
I love Star Trek, though.
So, can't talk about Final Space, though, because RIP, that show's dead.
R.I.P. And I finally convinced you to watch it the day that they took it down.
I know.
It's like, yeah, I'll give it a try. I can't find it anywhere. Why? Oh, thanks.
Because HBO killed it.
Thanks, Discovery.
David Vladislav or whatever his name is, Laszlo. Whatever. Fuck it.
I don't know.
Anyway, Star Wars. Star Wars has had a lot of stuff come out lately. But the reason I want to talk about it is not just because Andor is good, but Andor is good.
It's real good.
It's really good. Like, I was talking to my wife about this, and the fact that it's a prequel to a prequel. There is no reason why this fucker should be good at all, because you should know where all the characters that are important are going.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
But it's compelling.
It's compelling, and they've somehow managed to make it interesting because it's, one, about his own character growth, but two, they've populated a lot of characters you won't see again later, so you really don't know where most of what's going is actually going.
Yeah, it's like Jason Bourne in space.
Ooh. Which,
Space Bourne.
I mean, give Universal enough time, we probably will get Jason Bourne in space. James Bond already went there.
Matt Damon.
Anyway, as I was going to say, though, it's not because Andor is good, although it is good, and we'll continue talking about it. It's because of the fact that I was reading recently about the struggle Disney has had trying to figure out what to do with the Star Wars movies. They really want to do another one. But the one from Rian Johnson, that whole trilogy he planned, that's canned now. They were going to do...
Which is a shame, because that was my favorite one.
I know, I loved that.
Trilogies.
Loved it. The one they were going to do with the director of Wonder Woman, Patty Jenkins, the Rogue Squadron she was going to do, which they made a big announcement of. Didn't even have footage of it yet, but they had her, like, roller skating on a tarmac out by, like, some jets and shit. And it was like, this is going to be a big thing. They've already killed it.
So Wonder Woman didn't do good enough, I bet.
It's probably fears over Wonder Woman 1984. This is the big issue I have with the team they have at Lucasfilm.
Yes.
Kathleen Kennedy, and how they're meshing with Disney as well. Is Disney is putting pressure to only have success. Mm-hmm. And Kathleen Kennedy has a weird way of running Lucasfilm anyway. And between the two of them, they can't seem to figure out what the hell to do with anything they're working on.
No.
Like,
it's because I think that the problem with Star Wars is, like with Marvel movies, if you make stuff quote unquote woke, it gets some rancor, but by and large, people will still watch it. And I feel like the people who are more left leaning are more into the Marvel movies, right?
Maybe.
But Star Wars fans are increasingly becoming more alt-right because they're like they don't understand what the things about. It's like, oh, stormtroopers are cool. I want to be a stormtrooper.
You're misidentifying with the bad guys, the fascists, the ones that we're not supposed to like.
Yeah, like why is and this is the thing that always killed me too. Yeah, their outfits looked cool, but the whole premise of the 501st, the cosplay people.
Yeah,
like it's like so you guys are just celebrating fascism.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that too. The fandom is really fucking whack.
Yeah.
Like, the people that want to play as Jedi, I get. And I mean, I get the fact that the Sith look cool.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, you've gone past just cosplaying as a Sith to identifying as one.
Yeah.
And that's what the 501st, even though they're an outreach group, still feels a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I have some friends in the 501st and they are not fascist.
Not all 501st.
Yeah. But it just, I don't know, it just seems bizarre that they like Lucas had a very clear cut message, like this is bad. And they took that message, and over time it's become, is it?
I mean, all it takes is one bad apple in the Stormtroopers, and then suddenly all the...
Yeah, right? And I think that's like where the issue is, because Disney thought they were going to get something light and fluffy, but clearly have never talked to a Star Wars nerd before.
I mean, Disney has done, despite owning Fox, has failed to do the one thing that would just make money, which is put out the original versions of the original movies. People would buy the shit out of those.
Yeah, I still have my DVDs of those when Walmart released them for like a week.
Yeah, those ones that had the non-anamorphic ones that are impossible to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I keep an Xbox 360 around just because it will upscale them to the proper size to watch them on my big TV.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way to watch, like, shit old non-anamorphic letterbox.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to get rid of them because they're the only editions you can even find at this point.
Yeah.
Unless you want a Laserdisc player, which... barf. Yeah.
No one has that much space in their house.
Let me get up and flip my movie over halfway.
Halfway? That was a 3-disc set.
Don't get me started on Lord of the Rings and all the walking I have to do for all their walking.
Right? Could you imagine the extended edition of Lord of the Rings on Laserdisc?
It's an 8-disc set. Is that all 3 movies? No, that's just the first one.
It's the first half, bro. This is the extended cut.
With new animatics by Ralph Bakshi. The extended cut.
Ooh.
Anyway. So Star Wars is at this weird point where Disney can't get a single movie off to save their life. But all the things that you would think would be movies are instead moving to TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Mandalorian was great. Don't get me wrong. First season was really good. Second season's too fan servicey. But first season was really good.
Yeah.
And some of the shows that they've continued that started as shows have been great. The final season of Clone Wars was fantastic.
Yeah.
Bad Batch is not the best, but it's very watchable.
It was neat.
Yeah, I mean, it's a continuation of Clone Wars, and if you look at it like from that perspective, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Visions is fine. It's very anime, but it's fine.
I'm gonna get into Visions.
Getting a fine from me means it probably was actually good for some people, but I hate anime.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
yeah, it's fine. It was fine. But there's stuff like Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan started life as a movie.
Yeah.
Should have remained a movie because it
had too much into it.
Yeah. As watchable as it was in places, Princess Leia, the young Princess Leia, was really good.
Yes.
It was way too drawn out.
Yeah.
And I felt like Book of Boba Fett probably should have been a movie because it spent more time focusing on bullshit we didn't care about than actually focusing on Boba Fett.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And that's what I don't understand either, because people who have Disney Plus are already going to have Disney Plus, so they have their subscribers regardless.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the business model of pumping out expensive TV shows for Disney Plus instead of making a movie. And because from what I understand, like, the theater game is still pretty decent. Like,
it's lively again. They're starting to, okay, so it's lively for tent poles. Like, you get your Spider-Man out there or some other big budget movie.
Top Gun Maverick, which I think destroyed the box office and continues to.
Well, because it had jets with, like, shooty guns. So obviously they just shooty gunned the box office.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew. That's our recreation of Top Gun Maverick. Now you don't need to see the movie.
Goose.
If you're one of the 3 people out there that hasn't seen the movie.
Yeah, well, it was good, though.
I haven't seen the movie. I'm one of the 3 people.
Oh. Well, I have some. I have a.
I'm pretty sure people who haven't seen Top Gun Maverick are outnumbered by Hawkman fans.
I was actually about to say, I was like, I'm glad to know that the Hawkman fan group has more people than I haven't seen Top Gun Maverick. Because there's communist dissidents out there in China that have seen Top Gun.
Well, they saw bootlegs, but still, they saw it.
Yeah. You should watch it, though. It's pretty...
whenever it's on Paramount Plus. But I know we've touched upon this before, but Disney Plus is in a position that I don't think any of the other major streamers is, where their back catalog is strong enough. There are plenty of people that would pay just for access monthly to the back catalog without any new shit going on there.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to get into the Disney shows, Marvel shows, Star Wars shows. I don't think we need anywhere near as many as we have. And
it's a lot.
It's a lot. And some of the ones that are out should be movies instead of shows that then come to the streamer so that Disney can make extra box office. Of all the studios out there, Disney is in the one position where they can actually release movies and have them make more than $20 million in a weekend, which is what's currently happening in the box office right now.
Yeah. Which it blows my mind. Like,
So
because from what I understand about the streaming service business model, like people are fleeing Netflix.
Yes, because Netflix sucks.
Yeah, because once Stranger Things is over, like, I'd be surprised. I'm curious to see how well Netflix does after Stranger Things.
Well, it's pretty much Squid Game and Squid Game at that point for the streamer.
Which was Squid Game was pretty good.
I couldn't get through it.
Yeah,
it irritated me too much.
It was. I figured it out halfway through, but.
Well, again, Netflix is in that position where they start a show and then, like, 3 episodes into people watching it, they've already canceled the show.
Yeah.
Like, shows don't even get a weekend before they're on the chopping block.
I can't, like, when people are like, oh, watch this Netflix show, I'm like, I can't until season 3's been confirmed.
Right? Yeah. At least give me a season 2 so I know they can wrap up a storyline.
Unless it's Glow, where they end on a semi-cliffhanger.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we're not talking about Netflix right now. We're talking about Disney.
Yes.
This is Star Wars here. Like, Disney doesn't need to release all these, and I think some of the ones that they've put out, it's not just Star Wars, it's also MCU, should be movies and not TV shows. But It's like they're banking so hard on the ideas they have not being good movies, they need to put them somewhere else. But, like, the only bad movie they released was Solo.
Yeah, and that was...
That one wasn't even the bomb they say it was.
No, because it was enjoyable at parts. Like, Donald Glover did a great job, I thought.
Yeah. They hadn't fired the directors and had to reshoot everything.
Yeah.
The budget wouldn't have inflated quite as much as it did. And while it wouldn't have been the huge smash of even Rogue One, it at least would have made more money than it did.
It was just super disjointed. You can tell that the original director had, like, points, like a plot line that he was going to that never
Phil Miller and Lord.
Oh, they.
Yeah.
I didn't know who did that originally.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had stuff that they were getting to and never actualized. So
yeah, it's a weird movie. But even for being a weird movie, it still made almost its money back.
Yeah.
Like, that's not great for Star Wars, but it's not the bomb that people say it is. Like, there are worse movies released. There are $200 million movies that make $9 million and then just tank a studio.
Yeah.
So this movie didn't tank anything. It just tanked the prospects of any other movies. But I think the problem there is banking too hard on a Han Solo being a hero when that's not what he is, and people not getting the movie they were expecting from Solo. Or even, did they want Solo? People wanted Obi-Wan, and they got a TV show out of it, which was fine.
It could have been a movie.
Yeah. And it's the same problem with some of the stuff they're releasing for the TV shows for MCU that we've talked about. Like,
Ms. Marvel should have been a movie.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier should have been a movie. Yeah, there's a few of these out there that just should be movies because padding them out to even just 6 episodes makes them too long.
Yeah, like, I'm on the fence with Moon Knight because Moon Knight felt like it was a good length, but I feel like they could have cut a lot.
The one I'm enjoying that I feel is just right the way it is She-Hulk.
I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched any She-Hulk?
No, because I don't want to.
We did a podcast on it. What the fuck?
I haven't watched it currently.
Okay.
Because we did it after. I've watched...
First 2 episodes?
2 or 3.
Yeah. It's been good. It's been true episodic television.
Yeah.
Which works for television. Like, you can go week to week, and if you... like, not that anyone's going to miss an episode because they're all stored in the streamer, but it's like, you can miss an episode. And then when you get back to it, you're like, oh, okay, previously on. I've got it. I'm good. It's fine. It is pure, delightful sitcom-y TV, and it works well the way it is. It's the first time the MCU has done something like that that's actually just worked that way.
Well, and it's because the story base could be, the whole backstory of She-Hulk is, episodic, like...
Yeah, she goes and does cases, and then she moves on with her life,
This is Boston Legal, but she's green.
I mean, I think I like it better than Boston Legal, honestly. That show fell off real quick.
Yeah, because I like the first
couple seasons.
Yeah, like from what I remember, because it was before something, so I watched it.
Yeah,
but I don't remember it enough to.
I think that's a big problem. I remember that James Spader and Captain Kirk were on it, and that's about all I remember of it.
That's about where I'm at too.
Yep. Oh, and that the cast changed every season.
Yeah, because
they just couldn't keep people signed on. So
I honestly forgot that William Shatner was on it, and he was one of the main characters.
Yeah, it was mostly the James Spader show. But then, I mean, the show it spun off of The Practice became the James Spader show, and that was the only season of that show that was watchable.
Yeah.
So, but She-Hulk. We were talking about She-Hulk. Wow.
Shulk.
We have problems staying on topic.
I have ADHD, you know this.
I just feed into it.
I know.
But
Stop feeding me.
Like so Andor is one of those shows that actually feels like it didn't need to be movies. Now, I will say from what I've seen of the show so far, which is 5 episodes that are out,
Yeah.
It probably could have gotten away with being 8 movies total, like whether released on Disney or released every 3 months in theaters.
Yeah.
It could have gotten away with it because of the format and the way it's been written as like the chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
It could have been a nice anthology.
yeah, like just long form anthology that you just
Yeah.
get like one movie every 3 weeks or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but the way it works well. It's one of the few Star Wars programs they've put out that feels like it works episodically. The first season of Mandalorian also did that because
Yep.
it was like every episode, Mando shows up somewhere. There's a problem. Mando fixes problem. Mando moves on.
Well, they use that old school like kung fu esque type of format.
Yeah.
In the second season, I didn't feel
The second season was much more serialized and was trying for some bigger story, and it just kind of meandered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like they didn't expect a second season.
Well, I think they just didn't plan for it.
Yeah, there you go. That's a better way of saying it.
Yeah.
But
And-
who knows? We need to get jobs in Hollywood.
Right?
Disney, hire me.
Please.
I'm not going to be as nice. Do it. 1, 2, 3, do it.
Well, I mean, if we would just submit those scripts we have written.
Yeah, we do have them. We just need to find an agent. So if you're an agent and we'll take royalty rights, let me know.
But, I think it's Disney is just in this weird place. I really wish they would figure out just the right balance between TV shows and movies. Not only because, it would make them more money, which I don't necessarily care about myself, but keeps the company happy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But also because it would allow those shows and the movies to play out in the right context.
Yeah.
Like, I liked Obi-Wan. I don't know that I want to sit through 6 hours of Obi-Wan again. I would have rather had it be 2 hours.
And that's the problem with all this oversaturation of stuff. Because when I was a kid, I liked the original trilogy enough. Actually, I loved it when I was a kid. But when I'd stay home from school when I was sick, I'd watch the original trilogy. I still watch the Indiana Jones trilogy if I'm like couch ridden.
Because there's only 3 movies.
There's only 3 movies, but now it's like I'm gonna have like a anxiety attack trying to figure out if I want to I want to watch Star Wars while I'm sick. But do I want to watch? Which one do I want to watch?
I, as a person who collects physical media, which I have way more than you do at this point, because you got rid of a bunch of yours. Mm-hmm. The most annoying thing for me when looking at Star Wars is how to organize all of it.
Yeah.
Especially now that the last season of Clone Wars perfectly overlaps with Episode 3. Because now I'm like, how do I insert these discs in here? I hate that.
Yeah, so episode 1, 2, Clone Wars.
All for 6 seasons of Clone Wars.
Episode 3.
Last season of Clone Wars, yeah.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Andor, Rogue One.
Well, Andor, Obi-Wan, Rogue One. Yeah, that's like, I have the timeline on the website, so I can like organize it there. But even then, I'm like, I'm so irritated by how it all overlaps.
Yeah.
So, like, at least Star Trek doesn't do that bullshit most of the time.
Yeah.
It would be nice if Disney could like get the tone just right for the shows.
Yeah, for Star Wars.
Yeah. Not that I want to watch it. I mean, I think you hate them even more than I do. And
the Star Wars shows?
Yeah.
It's just too much because, I don't know, like, I have a very finite amount of time to do stuff, and I feel like when I'm watching largely most of the Star Wars stuff, it's just like, I am too old at this point in my life where the slow burn buildup works.
Yeah.
And like season 2 of Mandalorian and Obi-Wan, I think, are the best examples of this, where it's just like, I don't want to waste 6 hours to get to 30 minutes of
Actual
dopamine.
stuff,
yeah. Like, and plus, like, Obi-Wan's cool, but did it need to be said? Like, it's like what Kevin Smith said about Beetlejuice. Didn't everything about Beetlejuice get solved in Beetlejuice 1?
Yeah.
Like,
must we go Hawaiian?
yeah, must we go Hawaiian? So,
Yeah.
and as much as I dislike Kevin Smith, he was right. And that's how I kind of look at all these things, like, does he need to go Hawaiian?
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully one day Disney will figure it out. Like, at least the shows they're doing, like She-Hulk and Andor, at least if the shows they're doing now with She-Hulk and Andor feel like they're doing a better job.
Yeah.
So maybe they're slowly figuring out the formula. I think, like, if I had to guess, it feels like they were trying to compete the same kind of programming that Netflix was doing, which Netflix dumps all the episodes at once. So at least if you have to
Yeah.
sit through 6 hours, you get all 6 hours at once.
Yeah.
Like a slow burn of 6 hours over 6 weeks. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So
Well, especially since most of the time, and I think if I watched it as intended, where it was like I watched it weekly instead of trying to get through 4 episodes at once,
so you can do a podcast.
I think it would be better.
Yeah.
For me personally, like, granted, I'm one person, but
They should cater to you specifically.
Disney, listen to me. Hear me out.
Bro.
Bring back Glow, season 3,
Right.
Disney. And Final Space.
Just set it in Star Wars universe if you have to. I just want my final season of Glow.
Right?
Yeah. Damn it. Or a comic or something. Just give me something.
I just want to know what happens when they go to Vegas.
Right? Boo.
I thought you were going to say boobs.
Boobs. Well, probably boobs. There was a lot of boobs on that show. That's what Andor needs. More boobs.
I'm Andor.
That
C
show would be
cups of
very
justice.
different. I'm not judging.
No.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be watchable.
I mean, I'd still watch it.
I'd still watch it.
for my sight, of course.
Anyway, this has been Not So Live from Asteroid G, now horribly confused over how I feel about Andor. I'm Mike Finkelstein.
I'm...
You said Padme Amidala, but you are Josh Schaefer.
I'm Shmi Skywalker.
And we will see you next time.